Evening, guys. How you all doing? That was a dreadful game of football. If you pay to watch that match, on behalf of the club, I'd like to apologise. If you watched the match for free, I'd like to apologise. If you didn't watch the match, congratulations. That was awful. The first, again, like I did last time, I've got my notes, and I'm just going to read them off as bullet points, then explain as I need to, or if I need to. And then I'll maybe chat a little bit at the end. So we started off 5th in the league, and Leyton Orient started off 14th. That's now changed to us being 7th, which is still a playoff spot, but that's irrelevant really after the performance today. So the first bullet point, Scrimshaw and Maynard, they were our strike force today, which is interesting. Back in black shorts, which I thought would be the difference maker, because I'm certain we lost the other day because it was white shorts. However, evidently not. Ledley was on the bench. Fantastic news. Good that he got his international clearance. A couple of minutes in, I then noticed that Sheen was playing really, really deep again, sort of a central defensive midfield sort of role. And as I think Michael Flynn has said, we all know that Ledley plays that sort of role, CDM. So we were hoping that if and when he starts playing frequently, that would free up Sheehan to be able to move forward a little bit. What's his name? Charlie Brown, the commentator. He let us know that he had a haircut, which is fantastic news. 12 minutes in, we hadn't conceded, which is fantastic because the previous game, we'd conceded by that point. Nicky Maynard didn't touch the ball until halfway through the 14th minute, just to give you a little bit of perspective of how slow the game was. I don't think we'd even been in their half by this point. A little bit later on then, Nicky had a decent shot with his left foot. This was in the 16th minute. Little did I know, this was our only shot in the 94.5 minutes of football that was played. This was our only shot, and it was, if he went bottom left, it could have potentially gone in, but he went bottom right, which was where the keeper was stood, and the keeper saved it, no dramas. 20 minutes in, we sort of woke up a little bit, because up until this point, it had been all Leyton Orient. They had really looked like pumping us 4-0. Yeah, okay. Labs got a decent header from I think it was a Matty Dolan free kick. He flicked on with his head, but it hit the post, which is all well and good hitting the post, but it's an off-target shot, isn't it? Let's be honest. Benno skies a volley. Yeah, Benno in the box. Low ball comes across to him. He goes for the volley. And it absolutely blasts into Rosed, which was excellent to watch. Yeah, Lewis then had a pretty decent shot with his left foot, but again, that was in the 40th minute, goes wide. Half time, I've written Mickey, Matty, Lewis. These are the three guys that stood out in the first half as having a really good half, and it just paints a picture, doesn't it? They're all three defenders. 47th minute, Labs gets a card for being tackled. Yeah, Labs was slide tackled, and for his troubles, Labs then received the card. Just again to paint a picture of the sort of referees we're dealing with in League Two, but we've all got used to it now, haven't we? And then, what minute we're in? 50 something. I've written down here, Benno needs to come off, brackets, for Ledley. Benno did not have a good game. I like the guy. He's probably one of our less reliable players these days, especially in the position he sort of plays in. And that's sort of what I said. And then a couple of minutes later, Dolan comes off for Ledley. Pretty annoying that we sign probably the biggest signing of League Two the past season or two. Biggest, not as in he's made much of an impact yet, Ledley, but most famous and probably most proven player. I know he's getting on a bit, but so we bring him on and then play him out of position. We play him as a centre-back. Weird. Why on earth would you do that? Don't know. There were some weird subs, to be fair. So Dolan comes off for Ledley. Scrimshaw comes off for Taylor. Taylor coming on. Not a fan of his. I'm that much. I'm not against him. That's the wrong sort of way to talk about him. I'm sure he's a nice guy, but I'm fairly certain he is probably one of our worst signings in recent years. But like I said, I'm sure he's a nice guy. Yeah, then 60th minute. Goal, and I've got offside written down, and then I've scribbled off offside. Lino flagged for offside, and then the Leyton Orient players gather around the ref and moan enough that he runs over and talks to the lino, and then they somehow, between themselves, agree that, yeah, let's let the goal stand. Fair enough. Yeah. Triple sub in the 64th minute. Gambin, Ellison and Telford all come on for Lewis, Benham and Nicky Maynard. Maynard had a pretty bleak game, and I'm not massively impressed. I was really excited when he signed for us. You know, a little bit older, wiser, more experienced player. And I think, has he scored a goal maybe? Yeah, I know he scored one. I'm not sure if he scored two. I might be wrong. I'm probably wrong. I'm usually wrong. Leyton Orient boy pushes Kev over. Yeah, so the ball rolls out for a throw into Newport. And while they're off the pitch and Kevin Ellison was bending over to pick the ball up, this Leyton Orient boy pushes him over and he falls over. And then Wayne Hatswell, funnily enough, boots the ball at the Leyton player. Great fun. But just so it shows the sort of frustration we're looking at. Ledley, yeah, took a tactical yellow card for Newport in the 70th minute. It wasn't at risk of being a red, or it shouldn't have been. But with the referees in League Two, who Joe Ledley obviously won't be very much used to, I wouldn't have been massively surprised. It would have been the wrong decision to give him red, but I wouldn't be massively surprised. So I think he just needs to be careful. If he hadn't have performed the tactical foul, or the professional foul, whatever you want to call it, the Leyton Orient striker would have been through one-on-one with the keeper, which wouldn't have ended well, I don't think. Yeah, between the 70th and 90th minute, I've written average attacking football. We were attacking and we were on the attack more so than Leyton Orient were. However, it was all very, very average. There was nothing particularly exciting. There were no massive chances at this point, and it was all pretty boring, pretty easy to defend against football. Not very exciting at all. There was one good cross by Kevin Ellison in the 90-something minute, but nobody got on the end of it, so it's irrelevant really, isn't it? Yeah, 1-1 all over. Pretty average game. Man of the match. I struggled to think of a man of the match. Obviously, at half-time, I named those three boys who were doing really, really well, but most of them, 2 or 3 of those got subbed off. And I think if I had to give it to someone, well, it'd be a Leyton Orient player, to be honest with you. But Newport, man of the match, probably Mickey Dimitru. Although his passing isn't fantastic for a centre-back, he was going off on jollies and he was out of position a lot. In a positive way, he was going for long runs and trying. And not too much got past him. He is pretty solid at the back. He's like a little Gandalf. He always sits the furthest back when we're defending. Everyone else will push forward. And he is always the last defender. And I guess it's just because we sort of trust him more than the rest of the guys, maybe. Or maybe it's because they think he'll get back in position. So we've got 13 days off now. We haven't got a game for 13 days, which is odd, but probably needed. We are back... when is it? Friday the 2nd of April. We've got Barrow away. And then that was our last game at Cardiff City Stadium as we're at right now. They were the 2 games done and dusted, and we'll be back to Rodney Parade. I've not seen a recent picture of it, I'm sure, because the rugby wasn't being played there either. I'm sure it looks great, but it's just a matter of how long it'll look great. And why would we need a nice pitch when we play hoofball anyway? But I'm not going to cry too much. I had a curry and a beer and I'm feeling good. Tripe result, but hey, we go again, right? Something like that. But we're still 7th, all that good stuff, blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to say it because you all know the sort of stuff that the happy clappers say, and I'm usually a pretty positive guy, but that was a pretty bleak performance. 94 minutes of football and we got one shot on target. Anyway, cool. I'm going to leave it there. Enjoy the rest of your night, enjoy the rest of your weekend, all that good stuff. And yeah, 13 days off, so I don't have to cry myself to sleep for 13 more days. Woohoo. Okay, cool. Bye. See you later.
Many thanks for watching the latest content on the Amber Army channel. Please make sure you leave us a like. Make sure you subscribe for more content, both for the neutral football fan and also plenty of Newport County. Even more Newport County content can be found on the club's iFollow channel on the link above. It is just £4.49 per month to subscribe to that service. And those of you feeling extra generous can also support us on Patreon on the link at the bottom there. That would be a monthly donation of your choice. Thank you again, make sure you've subscribed, and as always, up the county.